Newsflash, douchebags! Gran Turismo Sport, Project Cast 2, Forza Motorsport 7, maybe even Formula 1. Bragging rights is one thing, but what if you had the opportunity to earn more than just the right to talk smack, more than a cash sum of money, something you cannot even put a monetary value on in the shape of an Olympic gold medal? Now, a friend hit me up about talks that have been ongoing within the Olympic Committee to look into the viability of bringing esports to the Olympics. Now, as always, I pulled out my cape, flipped into Bruce Wayne and done a whole leap of research within the comfort of BOURNE's Batcave, and I managed to find some more information on this subject. Now, I'm going to share a few articles with you. Firstly, this one taken from Game Central, part of the Metro website, and it reads: the Olympic Games Bid Committee is looking into the possibility of adding video games to the next Olympics after Tokyo. People could be winning gold medals for League of Legends and Counter-Strike Global Offensive within just 7 years if the Olympics Bid Committee decides that adding esports to the Paris 2024 Summer Games is a good idea. This won't affect the Tokyo Summer Games in 2020, but according to an Associated Press report, the committee will be talking to esports representatives and the International Olympic Committee, the IOC, to see what can be done. Now here's a quote: "I don't want to say no from the beginning. I think it's interesting to interact with the IOC, with them, the esports family, to better understand what the process is and why it is such a success," said Bid Committee co-president Tony Estengay. "The youth, yes, they are interested in esport and this kind of thing. Let's look at it. Let's meet them. Let's try if we can find some bridges," he goes on to say. The Olympics often host exhibition tournaments of upcoming sports. They were very keen on skateboarding and other extreme sports for a time, and already spotlighted esports at Rio 2016. The Asian Games are already planning to make esports a full medal event in 2020, which is likely to have been the catalyst for the Olympic Bid Committee getting even more interested. Now, traditionalists will no doubt rail against the idea of esports being regarded as real sports, and that's ignoring the practical problem of how you pick the games and deal with the short careers and corporate sponsorships of professional players. But esports are rapidly approaching mainstream acceptance, with the BBC and other major broadcasters increasingly embracing coverage of esports events. Now, as always, this is a situation where there's always going to be split opinions, guys. There's going to be people for and some people are going to be against. So for the argument in favour, I'm now going to share a piece by Martin Schutz of DW.com. Scientists at the German Sports University have conducted a study of esports athletes and they were surprised by their results. They found that they are exposed to physical strains similar to those of normal athletes. Professor Ingo Frobose began studying esports athletes 5 years ago. This made Frobose something of a pioneer, as the expert in prevention and rehabilitation at the German Sports University in Cologne became the very first scientist to conduct a study of athletes who compete in esports. Nobody had previously looked into the demands placed on an esports professional, the kind of training he needs to go through to compete, or what kind of strains he or she is exposed to during a tournament. Frobose was quite surprised by the results. "We were particularly impressed by both the demands placed on the motor skills and their capabilities," Frobose said. "The esports athletes achieve up to 400 movements on the keyboard and mouse per minute, 4 times as much as the average person. The whole thing is isometrical because both hands are being moved at the same time and various parts of the brain are also being used at the same time," he added. "This is a level of strain that the scientists had never observed in any other sport, not even in table tennis players, who require a high level of hand and eye coordination." Now, on the other side of the fence, we've got Tariq Moose of The Guardian, who gave some reasons for and against. So he was pretty balanced in his article, but I just want to touch on one of the reasons against. Now, he says, The image of an Olympian is associated with physical prowess, a sculpted body chipped into perfection by years of careful maintenance and preparation. We expect these people to perform great feats of physicality better than the rest of us. This is why so many are scornful of the notion that competitive video gaming, or esports as it's come to be known, should stand alongside other Olympic sports. Now, further down at the bottom of the article, there is a forum section where people are invited to leave feedback, sort of how I ask you guys to leave feedback in the comments section. Now, there was one person who basically said this: yeah, I'm not keen on it either. Physical athletes who compete at the Olympic level are at the absolute peak of human performance. They endure intense training regimes requiring months of diet restrictions and grueling multiple-hour sessions, performing at their very best. I just don't see esports being on that same level of recognition. The toxic competitive nature of most esport gamers, notwithstanding the teams that compete, just don't seem to fit the same class of athlete. While I don't like esports at all, and I'm tired of seeing it constantly on Kotaku front page, I do recognise that these folks do have incredible skill, dedication and drive. Some of them have amazing knowledge of their game and reflexes that put them into a high performance category of human endeavours, but it's still just not the same to me. Okay, so what are my thoughts on this? What are BOURNE's thoughts on this? What is BOURNE's opinion? Well, here's the thing, I feel that the fact we're even having this conversation about an industry, and by that I mean gaming as a whole, which many people have said is on the decline or dying for a good few years now, shows that those sentiments couldn't be any further from the truth. I mean, think about it. Executives from non-gaming related backgrounds who probably earn six figures a year are actually sitting around board meetings discussing and realizing the opportunity here, both from a commercial standpoint as well as providing a whole new career path for people to embark on. In any sport, Olympic gold is seen as the pinnacle, and having that type of objective brought to gaming by way of esports is something I never expected to see. Well, at least not in my lifetime anyway. Now, I do agree that certain esporting genres would fit in better than others, and I feel racing esports is one of a small list of genres that can pull it off. Anyone who participates in any form of motorsport is referred to as a sportsman or sportswoman. Now, if you have a full 12K simulator rigged up with maneuvering seats which can simulate cornering G-forces, then if you add those physical elements to the precision and skill required, then the only element you're missing is the danger aspect. And that's pretty much the reason as to why I think racing as a genre in the form of esports would make perfect sense in Olympic competition. And that just about wraps things up for this video, folks. So as always, I invite you to get involved with this debate. This is something a little bit different, something that was thrown at me left field, and I was happy to catch the ball. What are your guys' thoughts on this? Do you think esports has a place in the Olympics? And if so, do you think that the racing genre is one of the few that can actually carry it in good stead? Are you totally against it? Do you think esports are completely stupid? Do you think gaming should just be left to your living room sofa or your bedroom, your TV and a can of Pringles? If it's your first time around here, I wish you a BOURNE welcome. Hit that like button and also the subscribe button, and most importantly, turn those notifications on so you don't miss the next one when it comes out. All the details of all the previous episodes will be in the description box, so be sure to scroll down and look for that. And as always, don't forget to check out the AutoBOURNE magazine for all your cars reviews and head-to-head showdowns, as well as the Let's Play we've got for Need for Speed Underground 2 in HD, all of which is in the description box. So that's just about it. I'll see you when the next video comes out. Take it easy. Peace. Do you like car reviews? Do you check out power tests? Are you a fan of head-to-head showdowns? How about having them all tied together in one convenient place? Welcome to the AutoBOURNE magazine, your one-stop shop for all of the above. presented on a weekly basis with quality content, clean-cut commentary and cars to suit everyone's pocket. What happened when the 370Z went up against the original 240? Was the American muscle car misunderstood by the British? Should you buy the brilliantly stupid John Cooper Works Mini? All questions and more will be answered as part of the AutoBOURNE magazine. Check it out now.